time.
In 1919, waves of general strikes throughout the industrialized world made new demands for social and economic reform. On May 15, the entire wage-earning force walked off the job in Winnipeg in support of striking construction and metal workers. There was a profound sense of injustice and a determination that society could run differently. In 1919, Wilfrid Laurier was elected Prime Minister of Canada, and on November 14, Ernest Drury became the Premier of Ontario, leading the United Farmers against Sir William Hearst's Conservatives. Many Canadians were returning from the deadly trenches of World War I, including a group of laborers that in 1903 founded Local 1, a union that was disbanded in 1917 because its members were enlisted in the war. On November 14, former Local 1 members applied for a new charter and founded Local 506 under the banner of the Hod Carriers Building and Common Labourers Union. At the Labour Temple in Toronto, Samuel Taylor Garland was elected president. John York became vice president, Edward Anthony, recording secretary, Fred Pipe, financial secretary, Edward Picton, correspondence secretary, Albert Whitley, treasurer, Thomas Skinner, sergeant-at-arms, and James Parrott, guard. They were all of Scottish and Irish descent. Union dues were set at 50 cents per month. The wage was 40 cents per hour. A pair of work boots cost $7.95. Although Canada was built on the backs of laborers, in those days workers were paid as little as possible.
They were working in conditions less than safe and for wages less than fair. There was little regards for workers' health and safety.
Garland and his team recognized the compelling need for these underpaid and overworked individuals to band together in strength.
On February 24, 1920, one of the first demands was to increase the wages to 75 cents per hour.
Increased industrialization brought social problems, largely concentrated in Cabbagetown in the ward, a large area that stretched west of Yonge and north of Queen. Here, poor people lived in crowded, wretched conditions. Housing was inadequate, health conditions were poor, sweatshop labor was the only employment. As industry grew, unionism also increased, but the movement, as in the United States, failed to organize politically.
Due to the lack of political influence and corporate pressure, the growth of unionized workers was mainly in the commercial construction sector. Our mandate was, and still is, to organize the unorganized.
The booming economy and its factories attracted a wave of new immigrants, mostly Italians and Jews from Russia and Eastern Europe, who settled in the city's emerging ethnic enclaves.
Local 506 was one of the first unions to accept new immigrants. On August 20th, 1920, one Russian immigrant was accepted to join Local 506. A few months later, 2 Italians followed the pattern. On April 19, 1921, 19 Italians joined Local 506, which was the largest non-British group.
The 1920s roared along, fueled by a mining boom that saw Bay Street turned into a veritable gold rush alley where everyone was pushing something hot. The Great Depression followed, inflicting 30% unemployment in 1933. The only distraction from its bleakness was the opening of Maple Leaf Gardens in 1931.
This was one of the first big projects involving Local 506 members.
Following World War II, organized labor experienced a rebirth and membership grew. Construction jobs were plentiful, and Local 506's members began to see their wages increase and their standard of living improved. But on the job sites, workers continued to die. It was the price of progress.
On March 17, 1965, Italian immigrant workers were tragically killed during the construction of a tunnel known as Hogs Hollow. Their deaths led to a coroner's inquest and a strike by mostly Italian-Canadian workers. Outcries from the public ultimately led to improved health and safety regulations that saved many lives. These men did not die in vain.
In the 1970s, Toronto became the fastest growing city in North America. Business leaders were trying to weaken the union movement by using cheap, non-union contractors in an effort to boost profits.
Immigrant workers like the Italians and the Portuguese found jobs in the non-unionized residential sector of the construction industry. where the laborers were exploited and harassed because they were at the mercy of greedy employers.
Local 506 had its dark days when a revolt erupted from inside the mid-80s and forced the local under trusteeship. The members were able to regain control of the local in 1986 by electing Carmen Principato's team. Principato has been the business manager since.
The union stretched its resources to the limit to increase membership. The mandate was to improve the lives of working men and women of Local 506. The needs was to empower ourselves through a strong local union.
Laborers changed the foundation of this city. It went from Hogtown to Big Town.
The members of Local 506 truly did shape Toronto's skyline. Our members were responsible for building of our schools, hospitals, office and retail buildings, projects like Union Station, the CN Tower, power generating plants, Queen's Park, City Hall, and the tens of other thousands of projects that we enjoy today as Torontonians.
In early years, workers learned their skills on the job. Local 506's commitment to providing formal education led to the creation of a training center. There was continuous improvement to the health and safety standards, increased wages, benefits, and pension.
While I keep an eye on the future, Local 506 has not forgotten the past. Since 1989, we have created a recreation center for our retirees that give a lifetime of hard work and the loyalty to our great local union.
Local 506 has expanded from about 140 founding members to its current membership of 8,000. More mergers have brought other sectors, from exhibit and display to hospitality and waste management, into Local 506's family. As this local union continues to grow, the challenge is to ensure that laborers of the 21st century will have an organization that remains strong and proud.
My feeling of the 90th year anniversary is looking at the past, thinking of everything that's happened in the past, and fix and do more improvements in the future. And hopefully we can do the best for our members.
Like Duval, Bernardini is thinking forward.
As we commemorate 90 years of growth, I can't help but feel a tremendous sense of pride for those who came before us so long ago. At the same time, I feel an enormous sense of responsibility to carry on the fight. As members, we must testify that our conviction that the union is the most important voice workers have. The integrity and the power of Local 506 must be defended in the coming years with the same commitment, dedication, and sacrifice that Local 506 has displayed over the last 90 years.
Principato continues to lead with the same passion and strong vision as when he joined Local 506 in 1958.
I am so proud to be part of this great celebration. These 90 years are dedicated to our members who have gone before us. They have worked in difficult conditions to afford us the opportunity we enjoy today. Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can change the world.
90 years later, Local 506 celebrates its anniversary, knowing that the past is the best guide for the future.
Justice, feel the power, honor, feel the power, strength, feel the power, giving the best every time. Justice, feel the power, honor, feel the power, strength, feel the power, giving the best every time. No matter what the job is, the schools